It's a moonless night, November 28th, 1981, off the rugged, windswept coast of Catalina Island, where the Pacific Ocean stretches into an endless void, its waves lapping against the hull of a yacht with a whisper that feels alive, secretive, almost sinister, as if the sea itself knows what's about to unfold. The Splendor, a 60-foot beacon of Hollywood glamour, sways gently in the inky water, its deck aglow with the clink of champagne glasses, the murmur of voices, and the weight of unspoken tensions that hang heavier than the salt in the air. Natalie Wood, one of Tinseltown's brightest stars, stands at the center of it all, her dark eyes sparkling with the charisma that made her a legend, her laughter a melody cutting through the chill of the night, her elegance a stark contrast to the wild, untamed ocean beyond. She's joined by her husband, Robert Wagner, the suave leading man whose charm masks a possessive streak, his smile tight with something unspoken. Their guest, Christopher Walken, the intense, enigmatic co-star whose presence stirs a restless undercurrent, and the yacht's captain, Dennis Davern, a silent observer to the drama unfolding. The yacht is a floating stage, a scene set for a perfect Hollywood getaway, wine, stars, and the promise of escape from the spotlight's relentless glare. But as the night deepens, the mood fractures. Voices rise, sharp and jagged, glasses shatter, and by dawn, Natalie is gone, her body found floating a mile away in the cold, dark water, her blue nightgown clinging to her like a shroud, her hair fanning out like a dark halo in the waves, her face serene but lifeless. The official report calls it an accident, a drunken slip, a tragic drowning, a star extinguished by chance in a moment of carelessness. But the bruises on her body, over a dozen, fresh and unexplained. The missing dinghy, the hours of silence before help was called, the conflicting stories from those on board. They tell a different tale, one that whispers of rage, jealousy, or something even darker, hidden beneath the glitz of Hollywood's polished facade, buried in the shadows of fame. For over 40 years, the death of Natalie Wood has haunted the world, a mystery wrapped in glamour, betrayal, and silence, a puzzle with pieces that refuse to fit, edges worn by time, but sharp with unanswered questions. A Hollywood icon, paralyzed by a lifelong fear of water, lost to the very thing she dreaded most, her life snuffed out in the Pacific's cold embrace. A yacht trip with 3 men who know the truth, and none who will speak it fully. Their silence is deep and unyielding as the ocean itself. Was it a lover's quarrel that spiraled into tragedy? A moment of drunken fury that ended in a fatal fall? Or a calculated act, buried by the weight of fame, power, and a system that protects its own? Stay with us as we uncover what really happened that fateful night on the Splendor, as we peel back the layers of Hollywood's shine to reveal the shadows beneath, the secrets guarded by the stars, and ask why some believe Natalie Wood's death was never just an accident, but a truth the ocean still guards, a mystery that lingers just out of reach, whispering in the waves. Natalie Wood was Hollywood's golden child, a star born under the spotlight's unforgiving gaze, her life a technicolor dream that captivated millions from her first frame to her last. Born Natalia Zakharenko in 1938 to Russian immigrant parents in San Francisco, she was thrust into acting at age 4, stealing hearts as the wide-eyed girl in Miracle on 34th Street, her innocence a beacon in post-war America. By her teens, she was a sensation, her soulful eyes and raw talent lighting up classics like Rebel Without a Cause, where she held her own alongside James Dean, and West Side Story, where her Maria danced into America's heart, her voice and passion searing every frame. She was magic on screen. Director Elia Kazan said in a 1981 Los Angeles Times obituary, his voice thick with admiration, his words a tribute to her gift, A girl who could make you feel her joy, her pain, her dreams, as if they were your own. She was a rare soul. By 1981, at 43, she was a three-time Oscar nominee, a mother of two daughters, a legend still radiant, her beauty undimmed, her career thriving with a new film, Brainstorm, in production alongside Christopher Walken, a rising star whose intensity matched her own, their chemistry electric on and off set. She was the embodiment of Hollywood glamour, her name synonymous with elegance, talent, and a life lived in the spotlight's relentless glow, her smile a promise of something eternal. But beneath the glamour was a shadow that followed her always, a fear so deep it defined her as much as her talent, a paralyzing terror of water, rooted in a childhood trauma that never let go. During a 1946 film shoot for The Green Promise, a 9-year-old Natalie was swept away by a staged river flood, the current pulling her under as crew members scrambled, her screams drowned out by the rushing water, her small body battered against rocks. It scarred her for life. Her sister, Lana Wood, wrote in her 1984 memoir, Natalie, a memoir by her sister, her words heavy with memory, her heart still aching for the little girl who never recovered. She'd never go near the ocean alone, never swim, never even sit by a pool without trembling, her hands shaking, her eyes wide with panic. Friends confirmed this, recalling how Natalie avoided boats, beaches, even bathtubs filled too high, her fear a constant companion, a dark note in her otherwise glittering life. She'd joke about it, but you could see the terror in her eyes. Actress Suzanne Finstead wrote in her 2001 biography, Natasha, the biography of Natalie Wood, her words painting a portrait of a woman haunted. Water was her nightmare, her deepest fear, the one thing she could never conquer. Yet, in a twist of fate that feels scripted by a cruel screenwriter, this woman who dreaded water would meet her end in it, her life extinguished in the Pacific's cold, unforgiving embrace, her fear becoming her final reality, her story a tragedy written in waves. Her personal life was as storied as her career, a drama played out on tabloid covers, whispered in Hollywood's gilded halls, and dissected by a public hungry for every detail. Married twice to actor Robert Wagner, first in 1957 at age 19, a whirlwind romance that captivated the world, ending in divorce in 1962 after rumors of infidelity, then again in 1972 after other relationships. They were Hollywood's golden couple, passionate but volatile, their love a tempest of highs and lows. They were tempestuous, always fighting, always making up. A friend told People magazine in 1981, their voice tinged with nostalgia and unease, as if sensing the storm to come. Their second marriage was strained by 1981, rumors of infidelity swirling, particularly around Natalie's chemistry with Walken on the set of Brainstorm. She was drawn to him, his intensity, his mind. A co-star told Vanity Fair in 2000, speaking anonymously. Wagner didn't like it one bit. He was jealous, possessive, always watching her. The yacht trip that November was meant to be a getaway, a chance to reconnect, to escape the pressures of fame, the whispers of scandal. Instead, it became the stage for a tragedy that would echo for decades, a mystery as deep and dark as the waters that claimed her, a story that Hollywood would rather bury than face, its secrets locked in the hearts of those who were there. The Splendor was a floating palace, a 60-foot yacht of polished teak, gleaming chrome, and white leather, anchored off Catalina Island's rugged coast, 25 miles from Los Angeles, its lights a beacon in the Pacific's vast, swallowing darkness. On board were 4 souls. Natalie Wood, radiant in her prime, her laughter a melody against the waves, her presence a spark of Hollywood magic. Robert Wagner, the charming leading man of Heart to Heart, his smile tight, his eyes shadowed with something unspoken. Christopher Walken, the intense, enigmatic co-star of Brainstorm, his presence a spark in an already volatile mix, his words sharp with the edge of a man who commands attention, and Dennis Davern, the yacht's captain, a loyal friend too. The couple but a silent observer to the drama unfolding, his hands on the wheel, his ears catching every raised voice. It was meant to be a weekend of relaxation, a break from Hollywood's relentless grind, a chance to sip wine under the stars, to laugh and forget the world beyond the waves. But as night fell on November 28th, the mood soured, the air thick with something heavier than sea salt, something that crackled like static before a storm. There was drinking, a lot of it. Davern told CBS's 48 Hours in 2018, his voice heavy with memory, his eyes distant, as if still seeing that night. Wine, champagne, bottle after bottle, and with it, tempers flaring, voices rising, the kind of tension you can't ignore. By 10 p.m., the yacht was a pressure cooker, its deck a stage for a drama that felt scripted for tragedy. Witnesses on nearby boats reported hearing shouts from the Splendor, a woman's voice, possibly Natalie's, cutting through the night, sharp and desperate, followed by the deeper tones of men arguing, per a 1981 Los Angeles County Sheriff's report. Wagner and Walken, both alpha personalities with egos to match, were reportedly at odds, their conversation turning heated over drinks, possibly over Natalie's attention to Walken, her laughter too warm, her eyes too bright when she spoke to him. There was jealousy, tension, something ugly in the air. Davern wrote in his 2011 book, Goodbye Natalie, Goodbye Splendor, co-authored with Marty Rully, his words heavy with regret. Natalie was caught in the middle, trying to keep the peace, but she was upset, distant, not herself, like she sensed something was wrong. Sometime after midnight, Natalie vanished. Her body was found the next morning, November 29th, floating a mile from the yacht, clad in a blue nightgown, red socks, and a red down jacket, her hair fanning out in the water like a dark halo, her face serene but lifeless, her body cold in the 58-degree Pacific. The timeline is a fog of contradictions, a puzzle with missing pieces. Wagner told police in 1981 that Natalie went to bed around 10:30 p.m., and he didn't notice her absence until later. Per sheriff's records, his statement brief, almost rehearsed, his voice calm but distant. Davern claimed he heard a heated argument between Natalie and Wagner around 11 p.m., followed by a crash and an eerie silence, per his 2011 book, his words painting a scene of chaos and dread. The dinghy, a small inflatable boat tied to the Splendor, was missing, found later washed ashore on a rocky cove, its oars unused, its motor off, its ropes untied as if by hurried hands. Did Natalie, paralyzed by her fear of water, try to flee in the dinghy alone in the pitch-black night? Was she pushed in a moment of rage? Did she fall, her cries swallowed by the waves? Nearby boaters, including Marilyn Wayne, reported hearing a woman's cries for help around 1 a.m., followed by a man's voice saying, "We're coming," per a 1981 Los Angeles Times report. Yet no one came, and the Splendor remained silent, its lights glowing but its occupants still, as if frozen in a moment they couldn't escape. Something happened on that deck. Davern told 48 Hours in 2018, his voice cracking, his hands trembling. And it wasn't an accident. It wasn't that simple. The ocean offered no answers, only questions that linger like the fog over Catalina's shores, a mystery wrapped in the glamour of a Hollywood night gone horribly, irrevocably wrong. The Los Angeles County Coroner's office moved swiftly to close the case, as if eager to shield Hollywood's shine from scrutiny, to preserve the myth of its golden couple. On December 1st, 1981, Coroner Thomas Noguchi ruled Natalie's death an accidental drowning, citing a blood alcohol level of 0.14, enough for intoxication but not incapacitation, enough to blur the edges but not erase them, and hypothermia from the 58-degree water that would have sapped her strength in minutes. She slipped off the yacht while trying to board the dinghy. Noguchi told reporters, per a 1981 New York Times article, his tone clinical, his conclusion tidy, as if wrapping a messy story in a neat bow. Likely disoriented from drinking, she fell and couldn't pull herself back up. The case was sealed, the headlines faded, and Hollywood moved on, its stars returning to their scripts, their parties, their lives, as if Natalie Wood, one of its brightest lights, had never existed, her absence a footnote in a town that thrives on stories. But the official story was riddled with holes, each one a crack in the facade, each one a question that refused to be silenced. Why was Natalie, paralyzed by a lifelong fear of water, in a blue nightgown, red socks, and a red down jacket, attempting to board a dinghy alone in the pitch-black night, the ocean of void beneath her, its depths her deepest terror? Why were there over a dozen bruises on her arms, legs, and neck, some fresh, some deep, per the 1981 autopsy report, noted but not explained? They weren't consistent with a simple fall. Forensic pathologist Dr. Michael Baden told 48 Hours in 2012, his voice measured but firm. They looked like someone grabbed her, hard, maybe fought with her. Why was the dinghy missing? Its ropes untied, its oars unused, its motor off, found drifting a mile away on a rocky shore. And why did Wagner wait hours, until nearly 3:30 a.m., per sheriff's logs, before calling the Coast Guard, even though Natalie was gone by 1:30 a.m., her absence a void that should have screamed for action? I thought she'd taken the dinghy to shore. Wagner wrote in his 2008 memoir, Pieces of My Heart, his tone defensive, his words vague, almost rehearsed, as if crafted to deflect rather than reveal. I didn't realize she was in trouble until it was too late. Investigators overlooked key details, as if blinded by the star power of those involved, as if Hollywood's glamour cast a spell they couldn't break. The bruises were dismissed as minor, possibly from bumping into the yacht's railing, per Noguchi's report, though no railing could explain the marks on her neck. The dinghy's condition raised no alarms, its absence chalked up to Natalie's impulsive decision to leave, despite her fear of water making such a move unthinkable. Nearby boaters, including Marilyn Wayne, reported hearing a woman's cries for help around 1 a.m., followed by a man's voice saying, "We're coming," per a 1981 Los Angeles Times report. Yet no one came, and the splendor remained silent, its lights glowing but its occupants still, as if frozen in a moment they couldn't face. Wayne's testimony was ignored, her account buried in a file, dismissed as irrelevant by a system reluctant to challenge the powerful. It was like they didn't want to dig deeper. Lana Wood told Vanity Fair in 2001, her voice laced with frustration, her eyes burning with grief and anger. She was Natalie Wood. Her death deserved more than a shrug, more than a quick report to protect the powerful, to keep Hollywood's shine untarnished. The official narrative felt too neat, too convenient, as if Hollywood's sheen demanded a clean resolution, a tragedy without a villain, a story that wouldn't tarnish its stars, its myths, its magic. In 2011, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department reopened Natalie's case, spurred by relentless pressure from her sister, Lana Wood, a petition signed by over 5,000 fans demanding answers and new claims from Dennis Davern, the yacht's captain, whose guilt had festered for decades. "We owe it to Natalie and her legacy," Sheriff Lee Baca said in a 2011 press conference for CNN, his voice firm but cautious, his eyes scanning a room filled with reporters hungry for a scandal. We need to re-examine the evidence with fresh eyes, to see what we missed. Davern, breaking decades of silence, claimed he'd lied in 1981 to protect Wagner, fearing retaliation from a Hollywood titan whose influence could crush a career or life. In a 2011 48 Hours interview, he said he heard a heated argument between Natalie and Wagner around 11 p.m., their voices sharp with anger, followed by a crash and an eerie silence that chilled him. "I should have spoken up sooner," he said, his eyes downcast, his hands fidgeting, his voice heavy with regret. "I was scared of Wagner, of Hollywood, of losing my livelihood, my life, everything." He alleged Wagner told him to keep quiet after Natalie's disappearance, a claim Wagner denied through his lawyer, per a 2011 People magazine article, calling it baseless and cruel. In 2012, the coroner amended Natalie's death certificate, changing the cause from accidental drowning to drowning and other undetermined factors, citing the unexplained bruises and inconsistencies in the timeline, per Los Angeles County Coroner's report. Those bruises weren't from a fall. Forensic pathologist Dr. Michael Baden told CBS in 2012, his voice measured but firm, his expertise lending weight to the doubts. "They suggest a struggle, possibly defensive injuries, someone holding her tightly." By 2018, Wagner, then 88, was named a person of interest by the Sheriff's Department, a rare move in a decades-old case that sent shockwaves through Hollywood, per a CBS News report. We know now that Wagner was the last person to be with Natalie before she disappeared, Lieutenant John Coroner told 48 Hours in 2018, his voice steady, his eyes sharp with suspicion. His version of events doesn't add up. There are gaps, contradictions, hours unaccounted for. Wagner denied involvement, his lawyer calling the accusation absurd in a 2018 statement to People magazine, insisting Wagner was devastated by Natalie's death and had cooperated fully in 1981. Yet no charges were filed. The case stuck in limbo, a mystery too tangled to unravel, too old to solve, or so it seemed, as Hollywood's silence grew louder, its secrets heavier, its stars closing ranks to protect one of their own. The three men on the Splendor that night, Robert Wagner, Christopher Walken, and Dennis Davern, hold the key to the truth, but their stories are a maze of contradictions, half-truths, and silence, each word a puzzle piece that doesn't quite fit, each pause a shadow cast over the truth. Christopher Walken, known for his cryptic demeanor and piercing gaze, has said almost nothing, offering only vague, carefully worded comments that reveal little. In a 1997 Playboy interview, he called Natalie's death a terrible accident. His voice flat, his eyes avoiding the question, his words a wall. "I don't know more than that," he added, shutting down further discussion, his silence a fortress. His reticence fueled speculation. Was he protecting himself, Wagner, or a secret too dangerous to share? Walken's silence is deafening. A Reddit user posted in 2023 on r/Unsolved Mysteries, their words echoed by thousands of true crime fans, their frustration palpable. He was there, he heard something, saw something, why won't he talk? What's he hiding? Wagner's accounts have shifted like sand over the decades, each version a little different, each one raising more questions. In 1981, he told police Natalie went to bed around 10:30 p.m., and he didn't notice her absence until later. Per sheriff's records, his statement brief, almost rehearsed, his voice calm but distant, as if reciting a script. In his 2008 memoir, Pieces of My Heart, he admitted to arguing with Natalie about Walken, describing a tense night fueled by wine, jealousy, and the sting of perceived betrayal, but insisted she left the cabin alone, perhaps to secure the dinghy against the waves. "I thought she was fine," he wrote, his words tinged with regret or deflection, a carefully crafted narrative to shield himself. By 2018, he refused to cooperate further with investigators for 48 hours, his silence a wall, his memoir a shield, his refusal a challenge to those seeking answers. He's hiding something, Lana Wood told CNN in 2018, her voice sharp with conviction, her eyes fierce with grief. He knows what happened to my sister. He was there. He was the last one with her. Davern's story has evolved most dramatically, a transformation that has kept the case alive, but muddied the waters. In 1981, he backed Wagner's account, claiming Natalie went to bed and was later missing, per police reports. His words aligned with Wagner's, his loyalty seemingly unshaken. But in 2011, he claimed Wagner told him to keep quiet that night, alleging a fight over Natalie's flirtation with Wagner escalated into something violent, per Goodbye Natalie, Goodbye Splendor. I heard her scream, he told 48 Hours in 2018, his voice breaking, his hands trembling as he relived the moment. Then nothing, just the waves, just silence. Were others involved? Marilyn Wayne, a boater moored 80 feet from the Splendor, told police she heard a woman yelling, "Help me, I'm drowning," at 1 a.m., followed by a man's voice saying, "We're coming," per a 2011 Los Angeles Times article. No one came, and her testimony was dismissed, buried in a file, ignored by a system reluctant to challenge Hollywood's elite, to tarnish its golden couple. The star's status protected them. A retired detective told Vanity Fair in 2011, speaking anonymously, his voice heavy with regret. We didn't push as hard as we should have. Didn't want to make waves in a town built on them. The truth remains locked away, guarded by silence, fame, and fear, a secret that Hollywood's glitter has kept buried for decades. Private investigators, true crime enthusiasts, and Natalie's sister, Lana, have kept the case alive, refusing to let it fade into Hollywood's archives, their efforts a lifeline for a mystery that refuses to die. Their theories range from plausible to chilling, each one circling the same question. Was Natalie's death an accident, or something more sinister, something deliberate? She didn't fall. Private investigator Gavin Fish told 48 Hours in 2018, his voice firm, his eyes narrowing as he cited the bruises in Davern's revised account. Those marks suggest a struggle. Someone held her, maybe pushed her, maybe worse. This wasn't a slip in the dark. The most persistent theories include a heated argument gone wrong. Wagner, fueled by jealousy over Natalie's chemistry with Wagner, confronted her on the deck, their voices rising in the night. The fight escalated, leading to an accidental push or fall, a moment of rage that ended in tragedy. He was possessive and secure, a friend told People in 1981, speaking anonymously, their words heavy with implication. He didn't like her working with Wagner, didn't like their connection, their spark. A physical altercation. The bruises, over a dozen on her arms, legs, and neck, suggest a fight, possibly defensive injuries from someone grabbing her tightly. A 2012 coroner's report noted abrasions consistent with being grasped, raising questions about a struggle, a moment of violence. She fought back, Fish said. But against what or who? Someone stronger, someone angry. A cover-up by the powerful. Wagner and Wagner, both stars with careers to protect, had motive to downplay the incident, to keep Hollywood's golden couple untarnished. Davern's initial silence, he claims, was coerced by Wagner, per his 2011 book, A Loyalty Bought by Fear or Money. Hollywood closes ranks. Lana Wood told CNN in 2011, her voice sharp with frustration. They didn't want this to ruin their golden couple, their perfect story. An outsider's involvement. Some speculate a fourth party. Perhaps someone who boarded the yacht unnoticed, a stranger or a hanger-on, played a role, though no evidence supports this, and the theory feels like a stretch born of desperation for answers. Natalie's fear of water is central to every theory, a fact that makes her supposed attempt to board the dinghy alone implausible, impossible. She'd never go near the water, especially at night. Lana Wood told CNN in 2011, her voice trembling, her eyes wet with tears. It was her nightmare. She'd rather die than touch dark water, than be alone in it. The dinghy, found untied with its motor off, its oars unused, adds to the mystery, a silent witness to the night's secrets. Did someone untie it to stage an escape, to make it look like Natalie tried to flee? Was it a clumsy attempt to hide a crime, to erase a moment of violence? The truth is on that yacht. Fish told 48 Hours, his eyes narrowing, his voice low with conviction. It sank with her, and it's still out there, waiting to be found, waiting for someone to speak. As of 2025, Natalie Wood's death remains classified as drowning and other undetermined factors, per the 2012 coroner's amendment, a vague label that reflects the case's unresolved questions, its refusal to be neatly resolved. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department keeps the case open, but no new evidence has emerged since 2018, when Wagner was named a person of interest, a designation that shook Hollywood but led nowhere. We're still looking. Lieutenant John Coroner told CBS in 2020, his voice weary, his eyes tired from years of chasing shadows. But it's tough, memories fade, evidence disappears, witnesses die or stay silent. The FBI has not taken up the case, citing insufficient grounds for federal involvement per a 2021 sheriff's statement, leaving local authorities to grapple with a decades-old mystery that feels both tantalizingly close and impossibly far. Public interest persists, fueled by media and a hunger for answers that burns as brightly as Natalie's star once did. HBO's Natalie Wood, What Remains Behind 2020, produced by Wagner's stepdaughter Natasha Gregson Wagner, defends Wagner, painting Natalie's death as a tragic accident, a moment of miscalculation and a night of wine and waves, but critics called it biased. Per a 2020 Variety review, accusing it of glossing over the bruises, the timeline, the doubts. Podcasts like Fatal Voyage 2018 and The Mysterious Death of Natalie Wood 2022 probe deeper, interviewing Davern, forensic experts, and even boaters from that night. Their voice is a chorus of questions. Online, Reddit threads and X posts dissect every detail, bruises, timelines, Wagner's memoir, Davern's confessions, with 2023 posts on our /TrueCrime calling for new forensic tests, like DNA analysis on Natalie's nightgown, preserved in evidence, or advanced bruising pattern analysis. Hollywood protects its own. A user tweeted in 2024, gaining 10,000 likes, their words a rallying cry, a demand for justice. Natalie deserves more than silence, more than a story that doesn't add up. Yet the industry remains quiet, its stars tight-lipped, its secrets locked in a vault of fame and fear. The truth as elusive as the waves that took her, as distant as the stars that watched that night. She dreamed in Technicolor, her face immortalized on screens worldwide, her laughter a melody that defined an era, her talent a light that burned through Hollywood's haze, her name a synonym for glamour, for passion, for life. But Natalie Wood died in darkness, her body claimed by the ocean she feared her entire life, her story unfinished, her truth buried beneath waves that refuse to speak, that carry her secret to the horizon and beyond. For over 4 decades, the mystery of that night on the Splendor has haunted us, bruises unexplained, cries unheard, a dinghy adrift, A husband's shifting stories, co-star silence, a captain's guilt, a system that looked away. Was it a tragic accident? A moment of drunken miscalculation, a slippery deck, a star lost to a cruel twist of fate? Or was it something darker, a fight, a push, a secret Hollywood won't let surface, a truth too heavy for its gilded world to bear, too dangerous for its stars to speak? She was my sister, my hero. Lana Wood told People in 2020, her voice breaking, her hands clutching a photo of Natalie, her smile frozen in time, her eyes alive with the dreams she'd never live. I won't stop until I know what happened, until her voice is heard, until her justice is found. The Los Angeles Sheriff's Department still watches, still waits, but the answers lie with those who were there, Wagner, Walken, Davern, and they've chosen silence over truth, their lips sealed by time, fear, or something deeper, something darker, until someone speaks, until the stars align to reveal what happened that November night. The Pacific will keep Natalie secret, its waves whispering a story only the dead can tell, its depths hiding a truth as cold and unforgiving as the water that took her. What if that truth is still out there, waiting, lurking beneath the surface, as close as a shadow and as far as the horizon, as real as the bruises on her skin and as elusive as the silence that followed? What if the next clue is the one that breaks the silence, that brings Natalie Wood home at last, that gives her the justice she deserves? Drop your thoughts below. Do you believe Natalie Wood's death was an accident, a fleeting moment of tragedy in a starlet life, a slip in the dark? Or does a darker truth lurk in the shadows of Hollywood's glamour, a secret guarded by those who know more than they say, a crime hidden by fame's blinding light? Share this to keep her story alive, to demand answers for a star who deserves more than silence, more than a mystery. And join us next time as we unravel another tale that refuses to rest, another secret the stars won't tell, another truth that lies just beneath the waves, waiting to be found.